Alright, but first, good old Gecko Squirrel. Shout out to the Scottish. He's Scottish, right? I'm am I being cap or?
Video games are quite a strange form of entertainment when you look at the other types of media we have out there. True. Instead of being able to just sit down and kind of turn your brain off while looking at the screen, you have to actively engage with the game at hand and...
Dude, imagine if people did that in fucking fighting games. Imagine if people fucking play. Oh my god, dude. Fighting games is the most fun when people engage with you, bro. When people are just slapping buttons, I get sad.
Certain things that happen. This is something that turns a couple of people off of games, as let's be honest, not everybody wants to have a skill check while experiencing a story, but for gamers, it gives them a reason to keep playing these games.
That's a good intro.
You will find people who will do repetitive tasks over and over and over again in order to get some form of reward. But if you look over at fighting games, they've only recently begun adopting the extrinsic model of motivation. In fact, I can only name 2 games that even have battle passes, and beyond that, most fighting game achievements won't take most players a long amount of time. So why do people keep playing fighting games? What's the motivator to get better at these games?
Win.
Well, while other games will give you flashy titles and things like that, at some point fighting games become an intrinsic motivator game. Intrinsic motivation comes from within yourself. It's the motivation to get better at something. Intrinsic motivation may be, I want to land this combo. Fighting games rely heavily on intrinsic motivation in order for players to continue playing them long after the initial honeymoon period. But what if you don't feel it? What if you throw yourself into the ranked wall over and over again and you find yourself burning out?
Play another game? Real?
What if you can't find your motivation? Let's talk about how to find your motivation. How do we get ourselves to stop caring about external factors and begin wanting to improve and become better at these games?
Wait,
well, the easiest way that I found to do this is to split the game in 2. Fighting games are a vast genre with multiple different ways for you to show how good you are. But the way that I do this is I split the games into fights that matter and fights that don't. Now, a lot of you may be looking at this and being like, okay, ranked, fight that matter, casual, fights that don't matter. But that's not where I'm coming from. In fact, I think this is the most common misconception with players. What I do is I put tournament fights into fights that matter, and any other fight that I do, the result does not matter. But why play ranked at all? If the only bit that really matters is the tournament result, why actually play the game? Well, this is where you get to learn to love improving. What I like to do is I like to pick a small thing for my character and run it out in real online ranked matches against opponents of similar-ish skill. This could be something like a specific mix-up.
Dude, I mean, the classic is me just literally trying characters on stream. People are like, why are you trying other characters on stream? I'm like, bro, because there's mad characters in the game. That's why. Like, let me cook, bro. And this started early. I'm actually glad Dragon Ball opened me up to playing more characters, because I think old me just only plays one character and just fucking goes like this. Where now it really is actually important to be able to play, at least have a baseline of playing many characters and stuff.
It could be a specific type of game plan, like slowing my game down or speeding it up. It could be a specific combo off of a conversion, or it could just be to bait a certain thing. A very common tactic for when people are learning to...
You should overall be a loyalist, though. You should overall be a loyalist, but if you say you're a full-time fighting game player and you don't play many characters, you either play the best character or you're trolling. That's 100%. That's a call out. Or you're a character loyalist, aka you play a low tier and that's your fucking personality. Those are the 3. You should definitely. I feel like you're literally trolling if you don't play more than one character, unless you play the best character. Then you know, when you're playing for fun, you can really just do whatever. When I talk about like the multi-character thing, I really am mostly talking about from the tournament perspective, because that's just the thing I'm thinking about all the time. Is tournaments. Does it help you to learn matchups? There's a bunch of things. It helps you to learn matchups. It helps you to understand the thought process of the person playing the character, right? So actually, like, a lot of stuff that I say about people who play me on characters I've played before, maybe some of it is mean, but it definitely comes from I also played the character.
While playing Tekken 8, I learned a couple of mix-ups and a couple of pressure sequences with Reina, and while I did get a lot of wins while doing this, I was able to look at my performance and play and go, you know, I did well in this match. I might have lost, but I landed this. or I did that.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters. By learning to love the process of getting better, you will find yourself not only increasing in the...
I lost a ton of games of Amelia Bitman today, but I mean, we're just assessing the vibes. Like, it feels good despite losing, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh wow, if I learned this, like, this character's fucked.
Ranks, but going into the matches that actually matter with a much stronger mindset. The most important thing, though, is of course to find the fun. This is a system that works for me. If you end up going to a tournament and find out that you hate it, then maybe you want to find another way to play these games. There are a lot of things that you can do in the fighting game community that don't involve bashing your head against a ranked wall. Granted, most of these are watching high-level players, but that doesn't mean you can't become a combo master or lab out ridiculous interactions in training.
We call them combo monsters, by the way.
It doesn't mean that you can't get invested in the lore of these characters and gush to your friends about the stories in these games. It doesn't mean you can't make amazing art of all these fighting game characters, or cosplay your favorite character even though you don't end up playing them. Fighting game...
So actually, you know, of course, I'm not memeing when I'm like, yeah, I want to win, right? I will say it's incredibly rewarding when you figure some shit out. So, okay, here's some things that I feel are super rewarding. When I figure out shit before other people, I get so high. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so fucking smart. Just that. Then figuring something out and actually doing it to somebody is a really, really rewarding too. I think today there are a lot more people who like lab games and stuff playing, but so long in my time playing fighting games, people are like, dude, you waste so much time in training mode. And then I would play them and they're like, you play like a fucking bot. Like, you just do all this shit that's automatic. I'm like, brother, imagine practicing the fucking game. And some people I used to, I mean, I almost want to say I used to be me. I definitely used to be meaner. But I definitely am a troll and an instigator. And sometimes, like, the people who really just be doing shit, when they're like, yo, how do I get better at the game? I go, have you tried practicing it? And they get fucking so mad. I can't help it, though. I can't help it. That's definitely, that I acknowledge 100%. That's chip on my shoulder. That's chip on my shoulder from classic people being like, dude, all you do is fucking lab the game, you're stupid. And I'm like, bro, I'm beating your ass. Even when, like, I don't get this anymore, period. I think I've definitely grown out of this. It definitely helps that we get the games at the same time as Japan, but like, when the games used to come out like way earlier in Japan, like 6 months to a year and a half before NA. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to watch a top player of my character play, and I'm just going to copy them until I run into my own problems, and then I'll adjust. And people are like, oh, all you do is X copy. I'm like, yeah, all I do is beat your ass. But I used to have a reputation too of just being like an X copier. An X copier lap too much. But I'm like, bro, you call me all these things, I'm beating your ass, bro. What do you want?
So you need to find the things that are fun for you. If that's motivating yourself to get good at these games, then that's motivating yourself to get good at these games. If it's not, then you can find your own way to enjoy them. If you do want to get good, though, and you find yourself beginning to hate the game, I have the best tip in order to get that motivation back.
I have two.
Stop playing.
I have actually a backup tip. Stop playing is actually a good tip. Stop playing is a good tip. The other tip is actually play a different character. Because part of it is almost definitely, like, 80% chance it's your fucking ego. Because I know. Remember, when I was right about to switch off Milia, I was hating this game. Baiken saved the game for me. Because I started approaching losses from a learning perspective again. It's because for a lot of people, it's ego.
Take a break. Please, for the love of God, take a break. There was a long time after I finished getting good at Guilty Gear Strive where I just did not want to look at the game. I was burnt the fuck out. I didn't realize it at the time.
And Baiken's really demanding too. So there are times where, like, when I was prepping for Battle Coliseum, so I maybe people mean me for losing the rank, but I felt like I prepared to the best of my ability. And a lot of the people, the only person who truly, but I only got to play him one time, the only person who beat me really bad was the Oscar player. I think his name's Alma Negra, right? And that match is dog shit, so that's fine. Okay? Especially last match. That match was dog shit, so that's fine. Besides that, I either beat everybody or I went even, because I went even with rank casuals. So that meant my preparation was good, because I practiced against fucking Potemkin, Anji, Ino, and Gold Lewis for a month straight. I wanted to fucking void out. There you go. I wanted to void out in Zelda, if you guys know what I'm saying. I wanted to void out. I was fucking despising this game. I played against Potemkin, Gold Lewis, Ino, and Anji for a month straight. I really wanted to void out. But it was worth it. It was worth it. My prep was super worth it, and I wasn't playing other characters at the time too. So like, because Baiken is hyper demand. One of the hardest things about her is she's just really fucking demanding. You have to really pay attention to stuff. You have to really be like, how does people do stuff? You can say I'm doing it to myself, but the more I explore the character, the more I'm like, dude, like I really have to do this. So I noticed my tower sessions being more fun when I would just switch off Baiken for like 30 minutes or so. I was just like, oh, I'm playing Milia now. Oh, I'm gonna play Ram now. Or now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play Testament now. And I'll do that for like 20 minutes or so, and I get some more water, go back to Baiken, and I'm like fresh. So it is relatable. It is relatable. Playing another character actually helps a lot, because in the end, I do really like this game. There's a ton of annoying shit in this game. There's a ton of annoying shit in every fighting game. It's just the nature of the games, because they're not made to be fair. You know what I mean? They're made to be fun. They're not made to be fair.
But with finishing
a good video, honestly,
tournament run and real life stuff happening, I did not have the energy to actually compete in the game. It was only by taking several months away from the game that I realized, yeah, I do actually like this game, and I do like getting better at it. And I've slowly begun to learn to love competing again. Make sure to look after yourself more than anything else. Being good at a video game isn't going to make you feel amazing. If anything, you'll get to that pedestal and you'll still feel empty. So
I don't know, dude. There's not that much better stuff than like, I don't know. No. I can't. Okay. Only for me. I'm not speaking for you guys. Only for me. No, I've had times where I've done really well at shit and then my heart was empty. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. It depends on a person. It depends on a person. I've cried on stage. I've definitely thought this game is dog shit on stage. Not this game specifically, just like the current game I'm playing is dog shit on stage. I've also had like the explosion of fucking chemicals and shit, you know, from either closing a tournament or even just winning a set. Like sometimes when you pop, sometimes like, it said like you had to overcome multiple difficult things in one day. So like, but then you have to hold back that pop off though a little bit, because I think maximum LK pop off would be crazy, but I'm like, no, we gotta keep it, because you're not done. You're not done. You're not done. The thing. It depends a lot on the setting and your goals and like all this shit, right? My mental is right though. I think the main thing is that my mental, I have really for years been working on my mental, because I used to have a really bad mental. It took me a long time of actively working on it. I read books and shit. Like I did a bunch of shit to like work on it, but I had to take care of it one thing at a time. So my friend who was on his path to be a doctor told me, when you tell yourself that you're dog shit while you're playing, you have to say you have to tell yourself don't do that, and if you keep doing that, you'll override it eventually. And I was like, that sounds cap, but I tried it anyway, because as you know, I try everything. I even try shit that I think is cap outside of obvious things. If someone gives me an idea, I'll at least try it, type thing. Right? So I tried it, and over the course of like 2 years, that shit worked, bro. That shit worked. I never think I suck while I'm playing now. Now I'm just like, that was a bad decision. Fuck. Like lock in. And I had to relearn too, like, why do I do this in the first place was another thing that helped me. Because am I doing it because I want everyone to like me and praise me for being good at the video game? Or am I doing it for some reason that I have some goal or I want to improve at something? I didn't start playing because I wanted people to like me or I wanted people to think my gameplay is cool or anything. I just wanted to win. And I had to revisit that because my mindset got warped at some point, and I started wanting to win because I wanted people to like me and I wanted to be popular and shit. And guess what? I'm from the middle of nowhere and I play characters people hate most of the time. So that shit's not happening. You know what I mean? That period during like Persona Exert where people are like, you're making excuses for your loss. I'm like, dude, I'm literally like, what the fuck? So it's like that time actually helped me to be like, yo, I really have to stop listening to people. Cause you're gonna go crazy. So one of two things happen. Either you become really whiny because you're just like, no one supports me. You're gonna think like no one supports you and shit, right? And you're just gonna keep going and like just hating yourself, or you get intrinsic motivation and it's just so much easier to keep at it, to push through it and shit. It's so much, and it's really rewarding when you actually. It's like extra rewarding when you succeed too. Because I think about past me, and I'm like, yeah, past me would be so happy to shut these motherfuckers up. And at the same time, you also built off this thing in like a good way, and like everything was executed well, and it was clean, and you just did your best. I've been hearing that from every streamer over the years. They gotta dig into motherfuckers saying they're making excuses or enough shit. No, I just don't even respond to them because they're not me. Why? Like I know in the past that my mentality was not where it was when I started, and there was a bunch of problems. I worked through them one at a time. You have to be honest with yourself in these things, or else you're gonna it's just not gonna be good. Even if you do well, it's not gonna go well for you unless you're honest with yourself.
So make sure that you're healthy in every aspect.
Yes,
You'll only truly become the best if you actually enjoy what you're doing anyway. If not, you're probably just going to end up smashing your controller. By separating the matches of what does and doesn't matter, finding new techniques to put into your game plan, and figuring out what you want to do, you are able to find the motivation that drives you for these games. Want to win your local? Go for it. Want to be your rival? Go for it. Want to win a major? It's going to be a lot of work, but if you keep that motivation up, you'll get there eventually.
Yo,
Find
thanks
what
for the Prime,
drives
man. Thank
you, and let it drive you to success. And with that, the video's over. Thank you all for watching. I'm good.